Hello and welcome to C&T Collectibles. I am C. Hope you're doing well today, and welcome to 3 Up and 3 Down, where we look at the top 3 risers and fallers in baseball card land over the past week. And then at the end, we will look at some of the players that did well on the real diamond and see what we should be doing or could be doing, or if there's anything we should be doing with their cards over on StarStock. So, all right, we'll start it off with our number 3 faller for the week, and that is the 1987 Bo Jackson in a PSA 10. So down 45% for the week. Again, thinly traded stuff here, so take this with a grain of salt because I'm not trying to predict anything. We're just using risk management. Where are some probabilities? And so the trend is slightly up here, or you could probably connect these dots and find a trend that's slightly down. But either way, in this area in the past, you've seen some buying here. So if this is a card you're interested in, $100 seems like maybe you can maybe get it at 70 if it leaks out of this and continues to go further south. The bottom line is, again, thinly traded stuff, and the next person could come in at 70, or the next person could come in at 150 or whatever. We just don't know. We can't get in the mind of that one individual. So it is what it is. So again, entertainment purposes here. Number 3 riser for the week, Jackie Robinson, all-time chart here, up 125% for the week. So long time base, and then just an explosion, and it kept grinding up, and then another explosion there. So one person thinks that currently $2,435 is the price. You have a lot more people think around $900 to $1,000 is the price. So you tell me who wins, and maybe we'll see him again on the next week. So hey, nothing wrong with that price for Jackie Robinson. I mean, if people are going to shell out this kind of money for cards, that's probably the one that makes more sense than some of these other guys here. So anyways, moving on to our number 2 faller for the week, and that is the 2020 Topps Chrome Yordan Alvarez Refractor in a PSA 10, down 57% for the week. Just one sale did that. So again, tricky stuff here. So we need a lot of volume if we're going to really have high conviction moves. So again, a lot of these are just for entertainment purposes, but coming into an area where there've been a couple of sales. But again, who the hell knows? Down 57% for the week. That's what I know. So all right, our number 2 riser for the week is Barry Bonds in a PSA 9, the 87 Fleer. So not a lot more action in this one, so you can kind of see a more defined range with a lot of activity here. So bottom range shot up, one big volume move here. And typically the risers are the ones you're going to be looking at selling, and the fallers are the ones you'd be more interested in buying here. So a little too much too quick. We've seen these fast moves before, and they quickly reverse. But if you do get a shot back in this, what is the current price? $20? Sure, $20, $25, $30, sure, why not? Go for it. Get yourself a Barry Bonds and a PSA 9. A lot of the vintage cards last year, we saw this as well. A lot of vintage cards were holding up better than the rest of the market. So maybe we're seeing that again. Haven't the past few weeks. All right, number what was our number 1 faller here? Our number 1 faller. And that is Shohei Ohtani, the 2018 Topps Update rookie debut. I've looked at this one, actually added to the Friday show. I added them to the main list here. His cards have been ripping, putting in new highs last week. We did have a price target of around $215 to $20. Scooted up above that a bit here, the $228 area, and just a couple of sales just knocked it right back. So in an area where it's kind of interesting, but you need some buyers to really start to step up here. I think that $85 relative to the $228 it was last week is a good price here. If you don't see that, then you continue to fall down into that. I mean, it could fall down quite a bit more. So it's already down 62% for the week here. Selling can beget more selling, so we'll see how that goes. But there wasn't much you could do. You can just kind of go with the price target. We had the measured move here again, 220, and got above that, so I don't think anybody would have said, no, geez, it's going to be $85 in a few days, but here we are. All right, our number 1 riser for the week is the Beebs PSA 9 2018 Topps Chrome Update, up 166% for the week here. So again, really thinly traded, so nice. It's just whoever made that, if they're able to buy low and they're able to sell high, good on them. So there's a lot more buyers up in here, so maybe people will chase it a little bit, but who knows? Remains to be seen. So, all right, let's take a look at the players of the week on the real baseball diamond and see how their prices are really reacting over on StarStock here. And we'll start it off with Tyler O'Neill for the Cardinals. O'Neill had 22 plate appearances, 8 hits, 4 home runs, and 8 RBI on the week here. I'm gonna move myself out of the way real quick. So perhaps that's a little bit better here. So all right. 25 years old, almost 26 years old. Let's call him 26. We'll round up. You can. What do you get to do? Rent a car or something? Who knows? For the season, 151 weighted runs created. He's put up a point and a half of WAR, so he's having a really, really nice season. Hasn't really done this before, but he hasn't gotten a full season worth of anything before. Last year was about as close as it gets, 50 out of 60 games. So a couple of things that stick out right now is he doesn't walk and he strikes out a ton. So BABIP, I'm not super concerned with that. It's a little tiny bit elevated. But when he's hitting the ball, he's hitting it very, very well here. So let's see, bad ball. I want StatCast. There we go. So his exit velocity 92 miles per hour, max exit velocity 113 miles per hour, which is completely respectable. He's barreling up at 21%, and he's hitting half his balls hard. So he's hitting it hard, or he's striking out is really what it comes down to. So for a player from a long-term perspective, again, the age concerns me a little bit. Now, if he's able to play full-time and produce, then I think he's a little bit more interesting. But the market finds him interesting, at least, so that's what counts here. StarStock A prices have gone from a dime up to $1. So a lot of selling at $1 here. So maybe if you get a pullback into 50 cents, that might be a better area for Tyler O'Neill. But I think he's really, really on the fence for that long-term stuff. I would lean towards new, but he's young enough that if he explodes for a few years, that could change a lot of minds here. And so over the past week it did, but again, really thinly traded stuff. Look for something closer to 50 cents if at all possible. All right, this next player, Fernando Tatis, was like your number 2 player for the week, but I cover him plenty on Friday, so we'll give some other guys a moment here. So next player up is Austin Meadows, who I wanted to talk about anyway, so I'm glad he wound up on this list, because one way or another I was fitting him in here. So a player that I think that I like, and I think we've all been burned by in the past. I'll show you why you weren't really burned. So 24 plate appearances, 7 hits, 3 home runs, and 8 RBI for the week. And so having a really, really nice season. He's got 1.5 WAR to this point here, just 26 years old, just turned 26. So he's right around that Tyler O'Neill area, but he's got a bit more of a track record. So he came up in 2018 with the Pirates and traded to the Rays. And he was a pretty good player. 2019, 143 weighted runs created, so he was an above, elite level hitter. 33 home runs. Strikeout rate wasn't ridiculous for someone hitting 33 home runs and a 291 average. And so last year he was sick. I think he was on the COVID list, and he didn't have a good year at all. So well below average player, but I think there was some health issues there, and people were kind of giving up on him. I said, and even I said, you know what? I bought a number of his things in the off season. Said, all right, this is kind of a make or break here for me. I might have to be out and see what he can do here, but I do like him, and he's having a really nice season again. 146 weighted runs created, striking out 25% of the time, walking 13% of the time, so he does have some plate presence. Pretty low BABIP, and not that we expect it to rise. It doesn't have to. He's carried a high BABIP in the past, and so it certainly could. 239 average, so he could increase that average a bit. So let's just see if there's any reason why that is a low BABIP at all. So exit velocity, good levels of normal exit velocity, max exit velocity. He's right in that area where you're not with the big boys or anything like that, but very, very respectable, barreling up 13% of the ball, hitting 42% of the balls hard. And you look at some of his other metrics here. Ground balls are down, fly balls are in line with everything else. Line drives in line, home run to fly ball. So it's fair. So what he's doing, soft contact, medium contact, whatever, everything looks really, really good. There could be some improvement even. So unless he's selling out for some fly balls, I think launch angle, he's doing great here. So again, this is a player that I've liked, and I think if you can get him for $1 or $2, this is the 2018 Chrome update, then yes, absolutely. So I did buy a few kind of in the $3 area, and it quickly dropped against me here, but I'm a believer in him longer term, and I think I'll be all right on that one here. But if you're able to get it for cheaper than me, why the heck not? I like Austin Meadows. All right, Carlos Correa making an appearance here. So 28 plate appearances, 8 hits, 2 home runs, 5 RBI. And this was a guy that when I did my shortstops for the long term, I thought was the best value on the board because of the fact, again, he's only 26 years old, but he came up early, he produced early, and those are a couple of things that you're looking for out of these guys. Now, the past 4 seasons really hasn't done anything. This season he's doing really, really well. The past couple, it hasn't been anything to write home about. So he's been hurt. He hasn't played a whole lot. Last year was close to a full season as he's been, and he was a below average bat. But this year he's 138 WRC plus. I mean, he's really kind of put it back together here. So 8 home runs, the strikeout rate and the walk, was low, 15%. I mean, that's an elite level of plate presence here. So 11% base on balls, 15% walk rate. I mean, that's Juan Soto basically. Soto will walk a little bit more at plate pleasant rise. Maybe that's not the greatest comp for this year here, but 280 average, and again 138 and 1.8 WAR to this point. This is a really nice season here. So exit velocity 90 and 116. That's a high level exit velocity. I think Aaron Judge is upwards of like 120, and that's about as good as you're gonna get here. So barreling up, you only barrel up about 6.8, about 7% of the balls. And again, the barrel rate is a combination of that perfect exit velocity of 95 miles per hour and a launch angle between 25 and 30 degrees, where you're likely to smack the ball out of the park here. Good hard hit rate, batted ball portfolio, line drives in line, fewer grounders, few more fly balls, and home run to fly ball rate even has some room to improve just a little bit. Soft contact, medium contact, all in line with what he's done. So liked Carlos Correa, and it's working out so far. So one of the plays that we had was when his PSA 10 was at $50. I said, relative to other shortstop that are on his kind of track, I think that's cheap, and so that one's actually worked out. But you can see that his A's and his B's haven't really got going here. So a lot of buying in this 10 area. So I think that's at least interesting. But if it leaks below this, then you're coming back down to like $5 where there's more buying. So maybe hedge your bets and throw $20 at Carlos Correa, buy one of the A's, and then set a couple bids at that $5 area, $6 area for the rest of his for the other couple cards here. So. Or just get a bunch of the Bs. They're hovering around a really cheap price here, but having a terrific season overall, as some of those other Astros are as well. Altuve, sneaky good this year, vintage Altuve. So, all right, do a couple pitchers, wind it up here. Chris Bassett, who had a complete game shutout, 2 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. And the first thing that jumps out at me here is 32 years old. So I will say, you know what, that's a great outing, and leave it at that. So Tyler Glasnow. 8 innings pitched, no decision, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, and 11 strikeouts here. So Tyler Glasnow, coming up on 28 years old, hasn't done a whole lot in his career as of now. He's had flashes, but he hasn't pitched a ton. And so one of these years, perhaps he puts it together, but I am happy to wait until he does before I do anything serious with his cards, although they're probably pretty cheap because pitchers don't get a lot of love. Anyway, so he does have an elite strikeout rate, 12 per 9, walking a little bit high, but not anything terrible. A little bit of homeritis, but nothing terrible. Getting a little bit lucky, leaving guys on base. In the home run to fly ball ratio, about the lowest of his career. So 257 average, pitching at a 273 area. So he's having a great season, and it looks like he could probably continue to do that with some mild regression perhaps. But again, I think I need to see him do more before doing anything crazy with that. So all right, and our final pitcher here is Mr. Brandon Woodruff, who had 7 innings pitched, 1 win, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, or excuse me, yeah, 10 strikeouts. All right. My notes ran together just a little bit there. So 28 years old, 3 months, so a little bit older than we like for someone who's just kind of showing some flashes for the first time, but having a terrific season overall. It's 10 strikeouts per 9. Pretty low BABIP, pretty high left on base, so you could see some regression there, and plays out in the numbers here. 127 ERA, pitching at more of a 2.74 level, which is still really, really, really good, but it's just not what he's done here. So look for some regression, and if you are looking for any of his cards, I think if you wait, you probably get a better price. So all right, that's what I got for you. Hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.